I want to talk to you about something that is absolutely true, but that no one wants to talk about. I'm gonna go out on a limb and talk about this because it's important that we do. We don't have really that much time to dilly dally around and just say, well, it's not true. It is true. It's absolutely true, and I want to talk about it. The fact is, none of us are getting any younger. Listen, we are just a couple weeks away from Christmas. And then right after Christmas, we move right into New Year's, and then people make those resolutions and they say, well, I'm going to change this about my life and I'm going to change that. But the truth is, the entire year is already over. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, all of that over. We're in December now, and there's only a couple weeks left in it. It's done. It's behind us. And so we have to sort of look at our lives and be like, okay, what happens next? Well, what happens next for me in the coming year, May 7th, I turn 40. If I live to be 80, like half my life behind me. Half of it done, gone. Now I got choices. I got a few choices, right? I can either look back at my life and go, well, I wish I had. And I wish I had done this, and I wish we could have done, and we could have, and oh man, what if I had? Or I can start looking forward with anticipation and start living in the now. And so I wanted to share you some verses, and these are from Philippians 3:13 through 14, and it's where Paul says, just straight out, brothers and sisters, I do not consider myself yet to have taken hold of it all. I do not consider it that I've figured it all out, that I know what I'm talking about all of the time. But what I do, the one thing that I do, forget what is behind. I strain toward what is ahead. I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus. So there's some encouraging things there, like Paul, the great Paul says, I haven't figured it out. I haven't figured it out. But I know this. I know that what I need to do is I need to strain forward, press forward into what God has given me, what God has for me in the future. Stop worrying about what's in the past and start worrying about what's coming. The cartoon character Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes once said, God put me on this earth to accomplish a certain number of things. And right now, I'm so far behind, I'll never die. That's it. Let's be honest. Most of us are on overload. We're committed to things we really don't need to be committed to, and we're thinking about things we don't need to be thinking about, and we're like, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. Well, what's going to happen at the football game this weekend? I got my fantasy football team, right? And we're not committed to the things that could actually change our lives. We get caught up in the whirlwind of the here and now, and we fail to deal with the things that are eternal. And so for all my math nerds out there, for all those people that have mathematical nerds, there are only 365 days in a year. 8,760 hours in a year. And you get 8 hours of sleep a day, so you can tack off about 2,920 of those. And like I said, I'm going to be 40 years old. Half of my life is behind me. 13,000 days are gone. I've lived them already. More than half of it's gone. It's behind me. And for some of you, you're thinking to yourself, well, that's nice for you, Ryan. You're still kind of young. Great. 2/3 of my life is behind me. And so you have a choice in this moment of realization that we're not getting any younger. We have a choice. We can either look behind with regret, or we can look ahead and plan what we will do with the remaining days. I'm choosing, and I think so should you, to decide what I'm going to do with what is left of my life. I'm choosing to decide what am I going to do with what's left of my life, and where do I start on that? Let me give you a little tidbit of information, right? We start here at the beginning, right? In the beginning, God. right? We need to decide right here, right now, this day, not waiting to make New Year's resolutions, not waiting for Christmas, not waiting for all that stuff. We need to decide right here, right now, today, in this moment, the Lord is going to become first and foremost in my life. That means that He'll become before my scheduling. Every scheduling thing that I make, I'm going to make it, and God is going to come before my scheduling. That it's going to affect my decision making, that it's going to go before and ahead of every other relation that happens, that it's going to be the Sunday kickoff, that we're going to decide that everything in our life is going to be surrounded by God, and God is going to come first and foremost. And then out of that first and foremost, the inflowing, that everything's going to flow out and be a natural reaction to all of that. Deciding to put God first is the first step in starting this next half, this next part of what's left of your life. Because like I said, there's no time to dilly-dally around, right? We're only here for a short time. We need to decide to give up this attitude of unforgiveness. I'm going to forgive my brothers. I'm going to forgive them because God has forgiven me. I'm not going to let that baggage of unforgiveness weigh me down anymore. I'm not going to let it destroy the family life. I'm not going to let it destroy friendships. I'm not going to let it split up churches. I'm going to decide to forgive. And that's the way that we move ahead in life. It's not about right or wrong. It's not about any of that. It's about moving forward in your life and not letting someone else control your life. And so we need to give up that unforgiveness. We need to stop living in the past. Forget the past. Press forward. It's going to take effort. It's not going to be easy. Moving forward toward the goal that God has for you is going to be hard. A lot of us get bogged down by our shortfalls, by our failures, by our past mistakes. God says, keep moving forward. Those failures, those painful memories, they hurt. There's no denying that. Some of us made wrong decisions in the past, and they're torturing us today. But if Jesus has already forgiven you, why haven't you forgiven yourself? And then we need to surrender our bad habits. Surrender the things that we don't necessarily need. There's this old thing, I don't know if I made it up or if it's really a thing, but there's this thing where we just give up things that get in the way. I call it blessed subtraction. I include it in the spiritual disciplines. Give up those things that we don't necessarily need so I can concentrate on the things that are going to build me up, that are going to make me stronger. Put God first in your life. Every day should begin and end with God. You cannot eliminate God from your life and then ask Him to help you. He has to be first. Has to. And then you begin to build your relationships with others, first with God, then with others. Decide right now that you're going to stop living in unforgiveness. Decide right now that you're going to surrender those things that you can't tell people about without feeling shame. Don't carry the dirty laundry into the next moment, into the next day. And surrender those things and let God clean it up. Decide it right now and press on towards the goal to which God has called you. If the first part of your life wasn't great, okay, cool. Let's press into the next part. If it was good, oh, awesome, even better. Let's keep pressing forward. We're not getting any younger.